Happy Monday, everyone. Unfortunately, I'm not at school today because Desmond hasn't been feeling very well, so I'm at home with him. It's okay though, because today is the first day of our official Unit 1 called A Deep Study of Character. And in each new session that we do at the beginning of each unit, it's always going to be a read aloud day. So today, you're just going to either put some headphones on or get comfy at home, and you're going to listen to me read aloud a story. And I'm going to give you some thinking work to do, and then you're going to try it out in your own book, okay? So, your learning target for today is I can plan my thinking work and attempt it as I read with focus to character development. And I want you to ask yourself, what sort of thinking will I be doing today? So, today we're going to dive into the work of turning you into an ever more powerful and expert reader. In this unit, we are doing some tough work. We're going to be studying characters deeply, meaningfully, and thoughtfully. We are considering their likes, their dislikes, their attitudes, behaviors, and choices. So today we'll read and think about a short story by Meg Medina. It's about a girl named Merci who goes to work with her dad and brother one summer. It's called Soul Painting Ink. So a couple of things, if I was doing some jots that I know already, my main character's name is Merci. I know she's a teenager. And then I always want to start my jots with the title, right, on my notebook page. So the title of this is Soul Painting Ink. All right. As I read, I want you to start just thinking about, can you picture Mercy? How would you describe her character? So not like physical attributes, what she looks like, but how would you describe who she is, what she's like, okay? I reach inside the window of Poppy's van and yank on the handle to open the passenger door. It's my turn to ride in front. Rolly sat there last time. You think they'll need a painter soon? Poppy asks as I slide in next to him. I follow his gaze to the second floor of Building 22. Men dressed like astronauts are tossing furniture into tall canisters marked biohazard. Donna Rosa, one of the old ladies who lived over there, died in her living room last week. Her TV was on, so no one knew anything was wrong for 2 whole days. That means we were all sleeping near a corpse. A shiver runs through me every time I think about Donna Rosa's ghost hovering in the halls, insulted that no one noticed she was dead. If they do, I'm out, I say. For starters, Donna Rosa was mean enough when she was alive. Who in their right mind wants to risk meeting her now that she's a spirit nursing a grudge? I'm not going in there. Why not? She's scared of putrefaction. Rolly climbs into the back of the van and parks himself on one of Poppy's paint buckets. My brother likes to show off his big science words, almost as much as he likes showing off his biceps, especially in front of Poppy, who wants him to be a doctor. That means human rot. I know what it means, I lie, but that's not the reason. Are you afraid of ghosts? Rolly makes his best zombie face and holds up his hand. Hands like claws. Ooh. Have some respect for los muertos, Rolando, Poppy says, trying not to laugh. He crosses himself and starts to back out of the space. I give Rolly a stony look. He's right, but I know better than to let him know I'm scared. So I turn back to Poppy. Okay, so let's stop right there and remember our goal. We're thinking about our character, Mercy. This line stands out to me. It's my turn to ride in front. Rolly sat there last time. So do you think that Mercy sounds competitive or righteous, meaning she wants what is fair to be fair? That's really important to her. Which one do you think? Neither's wrong, right? Because we can't just always decide on one trait, because characters are complicated. Just like I'm complicated, you're complicated. So I love this meme because this is me when I'm trying to think of my character traits, right? Like I'm trying to figure out who these characters are so that they're 3D, they're coming to life. But it shouldn't be super simple, right? Because characters just like us, we have a lot going on. They have a lot going on. Are there any other traits we might use to describe Mercy? I want you to think about that. So here are some other traits that I saw of Mercy. If I had my notebook open and I was doing some jots, these are ones that I think I'd start writing down as theories. So I wrote them as question marks because I haven't quite settled yet on what I really think she's like. So a couple things I jotted. I think she's either competitive or righteous, superstitious or weak, stubborn or proud. So here are some theories. I want to keep reading and I want to see, are any of these true? Are any of these ones that I'm going to kind of hold on to? Okay. And remember, our notebook is a place where we can just write down theories. We can just write down jots. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? It should be ever evolving. Okay. So let's keep reading. I give Rolly a stony look. He's right, but I know better than to let him know I'm scared. So I turn back to Poppy. I'm too busy, that's all. School starts next week, and I have to finish my summer reading. I root inside the bakery bag for my pan cubano. I take a deep breath of the warm bread that's dripping in butter and grilled fat the way Rolly and I like it. I tear off a chunk and sink my teeth into it. A full mouth will keep me from lying any more than necessary. Poppy smiles at me and pulls the bill off my painter's cap down over my eyes. I can't argue with making a good start at your new school, so I'll let you off this time. But don't get used to it. You wanted to be my number one apprentice, remember? I say, nodding. Poppy and I have a long-term business plan. I'm going to take over his company one day and turn it into an empire. Home Depot will eat my dust. I've already designed my business cards. They've got a sun rising and fancy told letters. Merci Suarez, CEO, Soul Painting, Inc. Rolly makes a face and snatches the bag from me. He knows I haven't cracked open a single book on my summer reading list, but at least he doesn't say so. In fact, I think he felt bad for me because he loaned me his good earbuds and CD player. Audiobooks to the rescue. He did the calculations while we were checking them out of the library. You'll be done in a mere 34 hours. Rolly starts telling Poppy about the process of human decomposition after death and proper biohazard cleanups, so I tune him out. This is definitely the dark side of having a science geek for a brother. Not that it's ever been easy. Even when he was younger, Rolly liked to dissect salamanders, dead roaches, and other creepy things. He always wanted to play Operation too, which would have been fun, except that he changed the rules. You had to name the body parts correctly. No, not the Adam's apple, he'd say as I tweezed out a piece without making the buzzer sound. It's I'm going to try this, guys, but I'm not going to pronounce it right. The laryngeal prominence. Say it or it doesn't count. Geez, you'd think he would have had pity on someone who was 5. But no, Rolly never cut me a break. Anyway, these days Rolly likes crime shows almost as much as he likes science. He says he's going to be a medical examiner. Poking around dead bodies all day? No, thank you. Okay, so let's pause there. What traits do you see as being strongest so far? So what do you think are the top traits that are standing out? How would you describe Mercy? What's your evidence? Remember, we always want to use some text evidence. I'm going to keep going. See if you can build that for me, okay? The air conditioner in Poppy's truck is shot, so I lean my head out the window. Even with the windows open, I'm sweating in my long overalls. I've lived in West Palm Beach my whole life, but even I can't stand it here in August. It's 7 a.m. and we're already at 85 degrees. I don't think she would make it in Texas. If the frog thermometer on my bedroom window is right. Poppy looks over at me and grabs my arm. Don't lean on the door. That latch is loose. Your mother will kill me if you fall. I scoot over. They sent our school schedules, Rolly says, licking his greasy fingers. Mine is sweet. I've got microbiology first thing in the morning. Oh, good. A whole year of listening to him talk about germs. I just survived his year in chemistry. For 2 solid semesters, he asked for things by their chemical formula just to annoy me. I'd like a glass of H2O, please. Pass the sodium chloride for my french fries. This banana bread could use more sucrose. I closed my eyes listening. Blah, blah, science club, blah, blah, college application. I wonder what it's going to be like for me this year. Rolly and I will both be at Seaward Pines, although I'll be in the lower school with all the other 7th grade amoebas. His word. Rolly is 5 years older than I am, a senior. The last time we were in the same school, I was in kindergarten, and he was one of the bossy safety patrols with a plastic badge. After that, he became a sunshine scholar at fancy Seaward Pines School, where everyone thinks he's a genius. Mommy says I'm going to love Seaward Pines, but I don't know. I'm not much for fancy, and everything about that place is shiny and stiff. Even the red blazers I'll have to wear look hot and silly, if you ask me. Plus, no one from our neighborhood goes there except Rolly, so I'll have to make new friends. Stuff like that doesn't bother Rolly. In fact, he's never brought home a friend in all the years he's gone there. I asked him about it once, but he told me to close my oral cavity. I think what Mommy really means is that she's going to love it. Last year was tough on her. My highest grade was a C, as in, caramba, Nina, what are you doing? You're shaming us. Well, it was frustrating for me too, to think all my years of perfect attendance and neat penmanship did absolutely nothing to butter up my teachers at report card time. It's what we call a poor return on investment in the business world. Mommy finally said, Asta aqui, and called Poppy to discuss my future. So I knew I was dead meat. I fought it as best as I could, but they decided that I needed a more structured learning environment, aka Seaward Pines. Why does it matter if I get an A in science or English? I cried to Mommy. I'm going to take over Poppy's business anyway. She gaped at me like a fish out of water. Business? Is that what you're calling a dented van and the few guys who show up when they feel like it a business? Mommy, she has no vision. No wonder she and Poppy don't get along. Anyway, with Rolly's help, I managed to broker a deal. I agreed not to run away. I'd go to Seaward Pines, but only if I could apprentice with Poppy and get paid. So far, they're living up to the agreement. I'm 12, so for now, I mostly do the trim, and I'm not allowed to go on all the jobs on account of child labor laws and all that bull. I've been out on 2 sites so far. Ramon's Auto Parts, not bad since it was air conditioned, and the marina, which left me smelling like bait for days. Okay, readers, so this part is so interesting, right? If we're thinking about who Merci is as a character. I feel like we're seeing new sides of her here, how she doesn't do well in school, but she's also really interested in working with her dad, even though it sounds like hard work. For me, I'm thinking Slytherin traits. So in my room, I've got the house traits hanging, and Slytherins are very ambitious and cunning. I feel like she was very ambitious and cunning here. How she made that deal with her mom and her dad. You know, she'll go to the school and she'll do this, but only if she gets to apprentice and get paid. That's ambitious. So that's a new trait that I could add. You know, I was thinking before maybe she's competitive, maybe a little righteous, superstitious. I was thinking weak, but now I don't really think she's weak. I think she's very strong, stubborn or proud. Ambitious, cunning are some that I could add to my post-its. So let's read the last section for today. And while I'm reading this, I want you to keep thinking about Merci. Take a look at some of the traits we've gathered for her so far, and think about these as we read on. Which continue to be important, and which ones need a new word or don't feel as important anymore, right? Because these are all our notes and we can cross them out if we want, because we're just coming up with theories right now about her character, okay? So I have a surprise today, Poppy says. I study him. This could be bad. Among my parents' past surprises, we've decided to get divorced. You're taking us to the science museum instead of a job site? Rolly says hopefully. I roll my eyes. What an attitude. When I'm in charge, he'll be the first one to go. No, but you're close. Poppy sticks his arm out to make a turn signal and heads over the bridge toward Palm Beach. It's about the job. I sit up and look outside, realizing he hasn't told us where we're working today. Where's the site? I ask. The whole sky reflects in Poppy's paint speckled shades as he looks over and smiles. Guess. I look around for a clue. The intracoastal twinkles beneath us as we cross the bridge into Palm Beach. The houses on the side of the canal are large, and they have bougainvillea, I don't know if I said that right, vines trailing from their balconies. Royal pines line the street that ends at the ocean. Poppy makes one turn after another on the quiet side streets where fancy cars are parked in the driveways and nannies push strollers in the shade. Maybe we'll be painting one of the big mansions. I could run into one of the rich tycoons who live here and run a few business ideas past him. Rolly crowds into the front seat to look at where we are too. Where are we going? Move back, I say. He's breathing in my ear and he hasn't brushed his teeth. No guess yet? Poppy asks. Then the stone archway of Seaward Pines School appears up ahead. We drive past the perfectly manicured front lawn, starting a flock of abysses as we go. A team of men in wide-brimmed hats is running weed whackers and mowing. What are we doing here? I ask. Poppy maneuvers us around back to the service entrance near the fields and parks in a spot reserved for maintenance crews. When he shuts off the engine, the van shudders to silence. I did a trade for your tuition, he says, turning to us. We paint the gym in a few classrooms, and it won't cost me un centavo. I hope I pronounced that right. If I did not, guys, forgive me. To have Mercy attend this semester. Que te parece? Your old man is always thinking. He taps his temple and grins. All my Spanish speakers, I've learned Spanish, but I'm really rusty. If I did not pronounce those correctly, correct me next time we talk, because I want to make sure I pronounce that correctly. Rolly glances at me uneasily and then shrinks into his seat again. You should have told us, he mumbles. Something in his voice sounds tight, far away. But Poppy doesn't hear him over the squeak of the van door. Let's go, Team Suarez, he says. I hop out and start gathering the drop cloths and extenders from the back. I already know where the gym is. We came here for orientation night last spring. If I remember, the place is humongous. We could be here for days. Maybe I'll ask for a raise. Are you going to help or what? I ask Rolly. These paint cans are heavy, you know. He doesn't answer. Finally, Poppy looks up. He stares at Rolly for a second before climbing in to help me with the cans. Poppy can carry several cans in each hand. He's the strongest dad I know. Wiping the sweat from his forehead, he points across the grass. Follow those signs to the main office, he says. Tell them we're here. I start down the path, dodging the sprinklers and hopping over the bricks with people's names chiseled into them. Vamos, Rolly, I hear Poppy say. Now, what are you thinking of Mercy now? What has helped you think this way? What has shifted as we've read more of the story? So I'm going to start this chart as we do each session for this unit. So this unit is called To Think Deeply About Characters. So each day in normally our lessons will be a lot shorter than this, but this was a read aloud. I'll always give you something on this that I want you to try out in your own book, okay? So today we're talking about expecting characters to be complicated and show more than one trait, not treat. So I just drew these little pictures. So hello, my name is Bitter, too clever. I am determined, sneaky, sarcastic, right? So if you remember when we very first started this, I had some original theories of what I thought of Mercy, and now it's starting to change. At first I thought maybe she was really stubborn, she was maybe a little bit weak, but now I think she's really ambitious. I think she's really cunning. I think that she's an entrepreneur, like she's so young, but she's already thinking of like creating her own business. I also am starting to think that maybe she's a little bit insecure because she doesn't do well in school. So what I want you to do, now that I've practiced some of this short story, anytime I do a read aloud, guys, or I do a mini lesson with you, I'm basically giving you a skill I want you to try out in your own fiction book. So for 10 minutes, you can use the timer in this slide. I want you to find a quiet place. You're just going to read. Jot down character traits that enter the story. So jot down characteristics, look at different sides, and then you're going to keep reading. Okay? And your homework is you're going to find that quiet place, finish reading for 30 minutes. We want to read 30 minutes total throughout the day. It can be cut up during the day. And then I want you to just keep jotting down some character traits. Okay? And I put in an assignment. It's called Monday, 9/21/2020 jotting work. I just want you to write 4 to 5 jots in that assignment. And they should be designated to your main character. So tell me the name of your book, your character's name, and 4 to 5 traits that you are kind of leaning towards your character. Okay, how would you describe your character? Remember, we're not talking about physical attributes, what they look like. We're talking about who they are as a person. Like Mercy, we were saying stubborn, proud, ambitious, cunning, insecure. Okay? All right, guys. So I'm going to stop here, but I've put these slides in Canvas. I've put the short story in Canvas. But remember, the homework assignment is with your own book as you have been reading, okay?